Vermont's Attorney General sues an over-the-counter hearing aid company for misleading customers.
I tried to warn you guys, but you didn't want to listen. Hi guys, Cliff Olson, Doctor of Audiology and founder of Applied Hearing Solutions in Phoenix, Arizona. And in this video, I'm talking about the lawsuit against Nano Hearing Aids and what this ultimately means for the future of over-the-counter hearing aids. Coming up. Approximately 4 years ago, I made a series of videos raising some red flags about an online company called Nano Hearing Aids. In those videos, I pointed out numerous concerns that I had regarding the claims of their direct-to-consumer hearing aids as well as their deceptive marketing tactics. At the time, it was apparent that their hearing aids were not hearing aids at all. They were just cheap amplifiers that they were sourcing from China. They were also illegally calling their devices over-the-counter hearing aids back in 2017, even though over-the-counter hearing aids did not technically exist until 2022. It doesn't take you very long searching the internet to find hundreds, if not thousands, of negative reviews on Nano Hearing Aids from individuals who've been taken advantage of by them. At the time, I even went as far as to report their fraudulent activity to the FDA and to the FTC because they were taking advantage of thousands of individuals purchasing their devices. Fortunately, the Attorney General from the state of Vermont decided to do something about it by filing a lawsuit against Nano Hearing Aids. But before I get into the specifics of this lawsuit against Nano Hearing Aids, if you could do me a huge favor and click the like button, it really helps out my channel because it gets these videos in front of a bigger audience. And while you're at it, if you have not yet hit that subscribe button with notification bell, go ahead and do that as well because that ensures that you never miss one of my newly released videos, including future videos that I release on this particular topic. That being said, I really appreciate it. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the press release from the Office of the Vermont Attorney General. On January 3rd, 2023, the Vermont Attorney General's office filed a lawsuit against Nano Hearing Aids for misleading consumers about the effectiveness and the quality of its products. From January 2018 through July 2021, the lawsuit alleges that Nano engaged in multiple layers of deception by making misleading statements on its websites and in its advertisements, implying its products are FDA approved and falsely representing its products as American-made. It is further alleged that Nano put consumers' health at risk by promoting a deceptive online hearing test that leads consumers to believe that their test results are reviewed by hearing experts when they are not, and invariably recommending the purchase of Nano's most expensive product regardless of the results. Our investigation revealed that Nano left consumers in the dark about the potential and serious health risks associated with their products, said Attorney General Suzanne Young. Vermonters experiencing hearing loss should not be discouraged from seeking the professional diagnosis and care they need. The Attorney General's office will continue to hold businesses accountable for putting profits before the health and well-being of Vermonters. From January 2018 through July 2021, Nano sold at least $200,000 worth of products and warranties to approximately 800 Vermont consumers. The Attorney General's office identified numerous unfair business practices, including misrepresenting the character of their hearing products, offering a hearing test on its website which is misleadingly described as an accurate hearing test in less than 10 minutes that works as a free audiologist consultation, implying that professional audiologists review each consumer's hearing test results, directing sales staff to identify themselves to consumers as hearing specialists despite having no related specialized medical training or advanced degrees, directing sales staff to persuade dissatisfied consumers into keeping their devices past the point of when returns are possible under Nano's 45-day money-back guarantee, perpetually listing their products as being on sale, claiming their products are designed in the United States when they are designed in China, unlawfully promoting its products for children, and implying its products are approved by the FDA when they are not. The lawsuit seeks to protect consumers by requiring Nano to refund money to consumers, to give up any profits resulting from violations of the law, and to pay penalties for its conduct. I will link a copy of the complaint filed in December 2022 in the Vermont Superior Court down in the description. Now what's crazy here is that Vermont is the second least populated state in the United States. So if Nano was able to scam 800 consumers in the state of Vermont out of $200,000, just imagine how much they've been able to scam from the entire United States. Let's do a little bit of math here. The population of the United States is approximately 332 million individuals. The population of Vermont is approximately 646,000 individuals. If you divide 332 million by 646,000, it gives you 514. Which means that Vermont is only 1/514th of the United States population. If you then multiply 514 by 200,000, this gives you a number of 102,800,000. What this math suggests is that if Nano was able to take the success that they had of scamming Vermonters and you extrapolate that out through the entire United States, it is likely that they have been able to scam Americans out of over $100 million. While it seems like Nano has what's coming to them in the state of Vermont, we still do not know what's going to happen to individuals across the United States who have been scammed by them as well. But this also signifies a bigger problem that we are going to face with the future of over-the-counter hearing aids. First of all, this lawsuit was filed by the Vermont State Attorney General, not the federal government. The federal government could have and should have done something about Nano years ago, but they chose not to. Instead, they allowed Nano to continue operating without any type of oversight, regardless of whether or not they were obeying the law. And it isn't like the FDA and the FTC didn't know what Nano was doing, because they literally received hundreds, if not thousands, of complaints from consumers and professionals alike. And yes, they were operating illegally, because on their website they explicitly stated that they were selling over-the-counter hearing aids, despite the letter that was sent out to all hearing aid manufacturers from the FDA that said that you cannot use over-the-counter hearing aids in your marketing until final regulations were approved. However, only the reputable hearing aid manufacturers decided to comply with this letter. Which brings me to my second concern about the future of over-the-counter hearing aids, which is Nano didn't get sued because they were saying that their hearing aids were over-the-counter hearing aids when they weren't. They got sued because of fraudulent business activities. A lot of over-the-counter hearing aid advocates, just like myself, decided to support this over-the-counter hearing aid regulation because we thought that it would clean up this fraudulent activity that we see all the time online when it comes to hearing aid sales. Unfortunately, it seems like these over-the-counter hearing aid guidelines are actually giving credibility to some of these online hearing aid companies that are scamming individuals. When you think about it, the only way that the over-the-counter hearing aid guidelines actually work is if the FDA actually does something if someone violates them. And as of right now, there is no sign that the FDA is actually going to do anything if nobody complies. The only way laws work is if someone actually enforces them. And I do not believe the federal government will protect individuals with hearing loss. Now, to be honest, I am still a fan of over-the-counter hearing aids because there are some over-the-counter hearing aid companies out there that are doing things the right way. What I'm trying to warn you of is that there are some deceptive companies out there that will not follow the rules and no one's going to do anything about it. Nope, this is a classic case of caveat emptor, meaning buyer beware. You have to do your due diligence and your research before purchasing any hearing aid, whether it's an over-the-counter device or a prescription device. Take the claims of any over-the-counter hearing aid company with a grain of salt, and if these claims seem too good to be true, trust me, they are. As you can tell, my opinion of the federal government is not that high because I don't think they're going to protect you in this new world of over-the-counter hearing aids, which means you are pretty much on your own. And you can tell that my opinion of Nano hearing aids is not that high, and I happen to think that you should avoid them like the plague, because chances are when this lawsuit is done, they are still going to be in business and they're still going to try to rip you off. That's it for this video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. If you like the video, please share it. If you want to see other videos just like this one, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, feel free to check out my website, hearingup.com.